We're going live. Are we live? If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Yay!
Hi there everyone, welcome to the Monday Club, and it's great to see you all. I hope I find you well, and first of all, a huge thank you to, let me find...
It really is generous. Thank you so much.
Nuts and Bolts, where's it gone?
Yes,
Nuts and Bolts 77 very kindly kicked us off with $10 on the super chat.
Just as we're about
good
to go
evening
live.
everyone. Now today's video as well, just want to put a big shout out to Scale Model Scenery. Today's video comes in association with them. We do have a link in the description box down below, so do go and check them out and support them with they've got a huge range of laser cut kits, that kind of
and
thing.
They really do. I've been looking at them myself. Now, I'm not a model railway person, but I do like model small dioramas.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff there is amazing.
Oh my word.
George Botterini, thank you so much.
So big thank you to George Botterini, who's just donated $10 and says trains. Do we have to do that in the voice of Father Jack? It's like trains. I love my trains.
I love my grunk.
But you may have also seen from the thumbnail as well that we've got a special Jenny Monday Club offer today.
Oh my
which
goodness.
Is,
Thank you so much, Robert Steers.
Oh my word. So,
guys, oh my goodness.
It's going wild. Robert Steers has very kindly donated $14.99. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you so much.
That is incredibly generous. Gosh, we've got loads and loads of people in, but I want to also talk to you a little bit about, for some reason it's caught up the other train there. It's being a bit naughty. But today we've got an extra special offer in association with DCC Concepts, and this is for an Australian outline locomotive. It's from Haskell. So I've got the box here. The locomotive, you will see just following that, there it goes, in that lovely two-tone blue livery, and this is from Haskell, which is a manufacturer that I hadn't come across before, but very big in the Australian scene, producing high quality outline locomotives for the Australian market in HO, and this is the West Rail L class. Now we posted a link in the description box, and we're also going to be putting the link in the chat as well from time to time, and this is a special exclusive during the stream only offer in conjunction with DCC Concepts to celebrate the fact that I will be going to work for them from next week. So this is effectively, think of it as being, I think it's an EMD, so it's an Aussified US outline locomotive presented in the livery of West Rail. If you're interested in the specifics of it, that's going to be chugging around throughout.
Why have we crashed?
Have we completely crashed?
Oh my goodness, nothing's moving.
And we appear to, let me just try changing the, it has crashed.
Wow.
Something is chugging along. So we've got the spinny beach
oh my
ball of
goodness.
death. So bandwidth issues. Let me just bandwidth.
Oh my goodness. We appear to be kind of here and kind of not.
So look, what we're going to do
Your
is...
camera is off.
Has it gone off completely?
Yes.
Right, unfortunately, we've run into a technical glitch. So let's just...
We had a feeling this was going to happen.
Not enough USB controller resources. The controller does not have enough resources for this device. We've got some kind of a very strange error has crept in to do with USB bandwidth. Now, I have been trying to fix something else on this computer.
And what have you done?
I don't know what's happened, but it would seem that the computer has decided not to work properly. There's some kind of an issue going on with the computer. So if I just look like I'm looking at my phone, I'm not actually sat there frozen looking at my phone. Yeah. Oh, Gone Loco says you're sounding rough. And Zoe's got her foot on the Ethernet cable against the 71001, the filed flyer.
I'm going to just go to the roving camera and see if that will do anything. Because if that means that I could turn off your camera and back on.
Yeah. Well, let's just leave it like that. Unfortunately, we've had a few glitches with the system, which I've been trying to sort
Jenny
out.
broke the computer and then hit it and then complained to me. So
Something like that. So anyway, I'm going to have to hold this up on this camera. So this is from Haskell. It's the L-Class locomotive. You'll see it coming round there. And the offer is underneath £100, and it's DCC fitted. So we've got lights and everything on this. In fact, I'm just going to turn the lights on. So it's just gone off the screen, actually. So if I go
Matto Bell says, we can survive without video if you just make the noises of the trains rolling by.
Choo-choo.
But,
whoa. Right. Messing about with models. Yes, that is the Daypol Class 22. So I've just posted the link into the chat. For the offer that we've got running on here. Go and check it out. It's Australian outline, so anybody who does US outline railroad modelling, it's very, very popular over there to have kind of fictional liveries and create your own short line railroads. So this could be a perfect opportunity for doing that. I know that international postage on these is only £10, so ironically, for those of you watching this in Australia...
It's caught up again.
Has it? Oh, it does that. For those of you watching in Australia, it may ironically be cheaper than buying this in a model shop in Oz, and there's a whole host of different ones. So we're going to have that offer running all the way through.
I am going to attempt to bring you back onto the screen.
Oh, it's going to break. So Keith Pointer, hi to you. Garthian, Tim's Model Railway... Garthian, I think if you try the link tomorrow, it'll probably still work as long as they're not sold all out tonight. So I think the link might just remain active for a few days, so don't worry about that. Hello to Sue at Pudham Junction, Tim's Model Railway and different videos, says Nosworth Dar.
I've got to say one thing. Mad on Steam Railway says, good evening, Jennifer, how are you? What a load of just equipment you seem to have, you poor thing. Get a life, get a Mac.
What?
Let's not have any of that, thank you.
Oh, yes, the PC versus Mac
we are here for the trains.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what equipment you use, it will break. I say that as a Mac person, and a Linux person, and Jenna as a Windows person. So it doesn't matter what you're using. We are pretty much pushing everything to the limits. Yeah. And that's why we have issues. It doesn't matter what we're using on the background. I use Macs for my streaming. I still get problems.
Yeah, look, we'll sort this out. It's not the be-all and end-all, but Brockwell Lane says that's good value. Yeah, where are you going to find an express diesel locomotive, which is, I think the best way, it looks a bit like a GP40 to my uncultured eyes, but certainly for under £100, and that includes its DCC fitted. They will work, I believe, on DC. I haven't actually tried it, but I will try that. But they do come with a blanking plate, so if you want to run them on DC, you can just take the decoder out, put the blanking plate. Are they coming
with decoders?
Yeah, well, yeah, they have decoders and they're DCC ready.
So that's actually, Jen, you didn't mention that earlier, because that's actually a shock to me. That's even better, isn't it? How much does DCC decoder normally cost?
It can be anywhere between £15 up to £25–30, depending on what they are. I don't know what the decoder is that's in them.
So if they're in the thing, that's actually quite a good bargain. Yeah. Again, on top of everything.
Yeah. So
not that I'm trying to sound like QVC here. I don't like to do.
Yeah, we don't do QVC.
I don't do the commercial stuff.
Anyway,
wow.
Edward C. Tucker, greetings to you. Dan, the Stafford man, says sound like soundtrack to Starlight Express.
Can't help it, sorry.
Fat Wallet Boy 2 says some fab clickety-clack sounds from this view. Oh! Has the audio been turned on all the cameras? Is that what the problem is?
It better not have been, because I'm looking at it here and no. Everything should be off.
Somebody said we're getting like a clickety-clack sound from certain views, which would suggest...
Oh, that's why it was...
That's what the...
Right, I'm going to go to studio mode. You keep going.
Okay,
And I'm
so
going to
Tim
sort
Davis,
this out.
hi to you. Andy Ambrose, Ron B, Richard Brighton. Is just letting everybody know we have the following in stock. Running number at 254, 2 of, 255, 2 of, 263, 1 of, 258, 1 of, 262, 2 of, and 265, 2 of. So they're extremely limited stock, and DCC Concepts very kindly partnered up with us to put together this amazing offer, and they really are first come, first served. So just follow that link and check them out. I have a feeling it is.
Oh, everyone said no. They mean the train sound. Well, yeah, we're gonna hear the train sound because there's trains running.
Well, there is that, I guess. I think we're going to have a look through the system.
Yeah, because you've been messing with it, and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I have. I may have been fiddling with settings in the BIOS, and I'm wondering if it's throttled the USB bus for some reason. Yes.
Right, I'm going to go to the shop for
Yay!
your drinks. What would you like?
I'll have some of those little chocolate honeycomb things as well. Alan Reynolds.
So you don't want a beer?
No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't go for a beer.
Well,
it is tempting, though, isn't it? If we went Beck's Blue.
Okay.
Take a bag with you, and I don't mean take me.
Carry a bag, Lara. Wow.
Yeah, Alan Mullins, hi to you. Meet, hi there.
Bobby
Josh's
Thompson
Railway
was a
Adventures.
Great comedian.
Mo Henry, good morning everyone from California, and I know you've just joined us on Patreon as well. We do need to add your name to the end credits, but thank you ever so much for that. And of course, don't forget.
Keep joining Patreon, making me remake the end cards. Oh no!
Oh, what a hardship! But thank you ever so much. Always great. Really grateful to everybody who supports the channel. Main trainee support. Robin Slewer says, I've just had my COVID jab. Well done.
Bye-bye.
Egg Rider says, the Suez Canal is operational again. Yep, that's right. So all of those goodies that people have been waiting for from China and the Far East, they should now start to make their way through. Gosh,
I can get all of those weird masks from Wish.com now.
Potentially. I wasn't aware that you were... I don't know whether you can hear the cupboard monkey shouting up the steps, but yeah, there's something about Wish.com. Ruben Ashwell, hi to you. Russell Fuel says, my parents are watching you and stuffing their faces with curry. That sounds like a great thing to do. I do love a good curry. So let's just see if we're going to get some of the cameras back. So I don't know what was going on. We're going to have to check some stuff out. Basically, I have a slightly sickly computer, and I've been desperately trying to get its PCIe 1x bus to work. And for reasons known only to itself, it is not working. I don't know whether there's a fault on the motherboard or not, but it just means at the moment we've had to do a little bit of jiggly pokery. Garthian says, just take your hands off of the BIOS's neck, stop throttling it. Rule 1 Model Railway says, pizza. Ooh, actually, that's a really good idea. We do have some pizzas in the fridge. Liam at New Mills Model Railway says, I'm having cider. That's actually a pretty good choice. Do you like the dark fruit? Strongbow dark fruit's very nice. Wham Gok says, Jenny, don't Zoe bully you. Zoe is a bit of a bully at times. I can say that with impunity because she's not here at the moment. Right. Me fancies a good old Pepsi Max cherry, says Ruben Ashwell. Unfortunately, I go hyperactive on Pepsi Max. So, do you remember, those of you of an older disposition might remember tartrazine, which I think was the orange food colouring. And it made a lot of children go hyperactive in the 1980s. Well, it didn't affect me, but Pepsi Max does to me what tartrazine was doing to the hyperactive children. Evan Terry says, my new EMU i1 arrived today. Excellent. And actually today we've got going round, I have dusted off my Class 411 and Class 419. So you will see somewhere on Weir Road going round. Let me see. Let's just change cameras. And just coming into view just underneath the chat, that's my Class 411. with a Class 419 that have been synced to run double-headed together. We have also got a Hornby Class 50. It is sound fitted, but I'm not running the sound at the moment. A Daypol Class 22. We have got a pair of Bachmann Class 25s running with the DCC Concepts ABC shuttle. So we've got 25052, which actually has a Zen Buddha decoder in, which means that that is one hell of a beast of a locomotive, and it stops for nothing. In fact, if I turn the power off to the layout, it keeps chugging on, using up the power from the Zen Buddha decoder. It really does have a lot of oomph going on with that. We've also got a Class 101, which is a Bachmann locomotive, but with the slightly more budget Soundtracks sound decoder, which is programmable to different locomotives. And it's one of the decoders which actually I do have quite a lot of time for. It's about half the price of something like a Lock Sound, but it has a choice of about 6 different locomotives on, one of which is a first generation DMU. I think all of the others are covered by TTS decoders now, but the first generation DMU is not. So actually, if you want a slightly more affordable budget, I think they're about £50 or £60, sound decoder for a first generation DMU, then they are a really great choice. Right, John Nutman, hi to you. Charlie McGowan, big hello. Ian White says, oh, the great Bobby Thompson, great comment. Some of the old ones, you watch them now and there's a few jokes where you're like, be careful now. But actually, some of the jokes are actually quite funny. Valleys 56XX also has had their jab this morning. Big hello to Southern Train Girl, Hythe Kent, East Midlands Train Spotter 2021, Flymo Chairman 1, Jay says another Hornby Murdoch has been spotted on a well-known auction site starting big, 500 quid. What's the deal with these Hornby Thomas the Tank Engine Murdochs? They're not actually a high-spec model. I really don't know what's going on with them. Somebody is paying some serious money on these, and it is unbelievable how much they're actually paying. Right. David J says, Jennifer Kirk, I've been trying to buy a Metcalfe 00 gauge stone viaduct, looked everywhere on the net. Seems they've discontinued the current model and bringing out a new one in 2021. Any ideas when? I haven't heard anything about that, but what I would say is try some of the smaller model shops. Arcadia Models in Shaw. Durham Trains of Stanley is another one. Also, is it Great Eastern Models as well? I know they posted recently saying that they do still have extensive stocks of Metcalfe card kits, including several that have been discontinued. So that might include that particular one. So do go and check out some of the perhaps the places which you might not necessarily go to first, that somebody out there will still have stocks of them. Now, in the news today, the Jenny Monday Club Wagon, we do have news on this. We've got it's about 50% of the models have now been sold. So we're into the final 50%. They are selling well. Again, the Jenny Monday Club Wagon from Acura Scale. It's a case of if you want one, do order them because they are selling incredibly fast. And there will be a big spike when they physically turn up in the country and start being delivered. There will be another huge boost in interest. So they may well sell out pretty much at the moment that they become available for dispatch. Right. Also, don't forget, I'm just going to remind people again, I'm going to post the link. Well, I would post the link, except the buffer on my iPhone has decided to forget the link. This is today's special deal in conjunction with DCC Concepts, which is a Haskell Ossified EMD locomotive. I've just posted the link in the chat. For under £100, DCC fitted, choice of different liveries, and we're talking about a model that's on a comparable spec with what you would expect from the likes of Bachmann or the Hornby non-railroad stuff. Janie B says Walton models in Altrincham stock a lot of Metcalf kits. Again, yes, definitely. Some of the less well-known retailers are a great place to check out for some of the more difficult to find stuff. Also, we put out a video on Friday, which is again another new old stock mystery shopper video. And on Friday, we mystery shopped at TMC, the model centre, and I highlighted a number of really great value new old stock items, primarily from their special commission range, so only really available from TMC. But some of the prices were just incredible. So I highlighted the Ale Wagon. Now this, I do actually have one somewhere. If I go to this view, let's see if it's actually in shot. Yes, through the chat, underneath the loading gauge, to the right of the Network Southeast Class 3 shunter, you'll see a white ventilated van, slightly grubby looking, weathered. That is the Ale van. So it's a Bachmann branch line ventilated van, high quality. It's factory weathered, and it's done up as an Ale van, which is what some of these ventilated vans did pass on to be used for. And I think it's £12.55. They also currently have an offer for free postage on any orders over £50. So actually there's a lot of other stuff, not just special commissions. I did notice, for example, the Big Four railway company open wagons. They had a number of those at really great prices. They are largely sold out elsewhere. And they also have a number of locomotives at some special prices. Now, somebody was asking me about the Hornby M7. Now, they had a DCC fitted Southern Railway livery Hornby M7 for, I think it was about £85. When I last looked, I did find at least one for sale. So they are still there. You might need to hunt through their website. Gone Loco says, I got the Ale Wagon a month ago. It is a great model, I have to say. East Midlands Train Spotter 2021, hi to you. Rule 1 Model Railway says, I ordered from TMC this weekend. Very good customer service. Really surprised how great they are. Actually, yeah, they are a great company. In many respects, they're sort of... people are more familiar with the likes of Kernow Model Centre, Hattons and Rails of Sheffield. But actually, TMC has become a kind of the sleeper hit in terms of customer service, range of models, and they are commissioning a lot of their own models from manufacturers such as Bachmann. So really looking forward to the MEO wagon, which is the 24.5-ton four-wheel coal wagon, which will be a great complementary model, not just to Bachmann's 16-ton mineral wagon, but also the MDO and MDV wagon from Acura scale, which also includes the Jenny Monday Club wagon. Crossways Point Junction, hi to you. Keith Broscombe says, do you have a Class 66 and 350? I don't have either of those. The closest I can field is the West Rail L-Class that is currently going round. I'm going to see if I can just catch it as it comes out of the tunnel. So you see the Daypole Class 22 with the tanker train. At the very end of that train is the Haskell West Rail L-Class in that lovely two-tone blue livery, which is what, in association with DCC Concepts, we've got the special Monday Club offer. We've got the link in the description box. I have posted it up in the chat a few times. Under £100 is just like a smidge under £100 for a high-quality, high-spec locomotive, DCC fitted. And again, they are incredibly limited numbers. They don't normally appear on DCC Concepts' website because they're just leftover stock. But they are high-quality models, a bit unusual in the UK. But I know there are a few Australian outline modelers in the UK. There was a really good exhibit actually when I did a couple of years ago the Lee Model Railway exhibition. There was an Australian outline layout that was actually next to me where I was exhibiting Grove Street Yard, and that sort of sowed the seed Don't forget as well that we've got a model coming through. I can't remember whether it's the F class or the A class, but there's a steam locomotive model coming through distributed by Hornby at some point this year. I know there was a big buzz when they shared a link about that last year, that they would be distributing it in the UK. It's a Lima model, so there is Australian outline models available, and they do look really, really interesting. And when you look at the Australian rail system, it has a lot in common with UK railways, but also there's kind of a crossover with the US railroads, because a lot of things like the locomotives, certainly the newer locomotives, do tend to come from General Motors and EMD, because Australia has a much more generous loading gauge. But if you go right back, things like the Robinson 8K or 01, not 01, the 04 as it became under LNER and later BR ownership, those locomotives also ran in Australia, so there's a lot of crossover. The Class 8, the Gronk Shunter, there were a number of those exported from English Electric to roughly the same design for the Victoria Railways. Some of them do still exist. And also the Terrier Locomotive. I was very, very surprised to learn that the basic design of the Terrier was actually built for an Australian railway company in the 19th century. They did look outwardly a little bit different. They had a much different shaped cab and bunker, but the Terrier actually, there was a whole class of locomotives out in Australia of those. George Botterini, hi to you. Brock Boyd says, bye, I've got to go. Look, it's okay. Don't forget you can watch the stream on the rewind as well. Once we have done the full stream, then it does go up as a regular video. Don't forget to click the like button, share the stream as well. Really important. Sharing is caring. And let people know on social media that all are welcome to the Monday Club. And if you haven't done so as well, do consider subscribing to the channel, ringing that bell to be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. And actually this week we've finally got the video on the US outline. Gosh, we're going so international on the channel. I've done a full review of the American Limited models bogie tank car, and American Limited models very kindly sent over 6 of these, and this is the saga of Zoe's parcel. Well, there was a saga with these as well, thanks to the original courier that was supposed to be delivering them to the UK and didn't, sent them back. They made it all the way back again, and finally I was able to do the full review on the American Limited models tank cars, and they will be available hopefully through Railroads of Sheffield, which is Rails of Sheffield's American outline sister kind of identity. They've got a Facebook page, and they do stock a lot of the American outline brands for those in the UK that are into the American US railroad scene. So you will be able to see those forthcoming via them as well. In fact, the actual models that I reviewed are over at Rails of Sheffield at the moment being evaluated. So we've got that video coming up on Wednesday. On Friday, we've got the Enwins 3D locomotive, the Hudswell Clark. I'm trying to think actually where it is. I've got a feeling it's downstairs in for photographing, because we've got a big pile of stuff downstairs. We've also done a full review on the Hellion Class 25s. Look out for that. That'll be coming up next week, not this week that we're in now, but next week on the Friday will be the Hellion Class 25 review video. Hellion very, very kindly sent over one of the blue D number half yellow ends models. I also bought Tamworth Castle in that very attractive but also very stereotypically 80s ice cream van livery with the silver roof and the wraparound yellow ends, because I love Class 25s, and it was a different livery which I didn't already have in my collection. So I was really, really pleased to be able to add that in. Keith Broscombe says, do you have a Class 70 or a 40? Now, I don't have a Class 70, but I do have a Class 40, and I'm just looking around actually. trying to think where my class 40 is. Ah, yeah, here we are. So there is my class 40, not currently on Weir Yard. Going for something a bit different actually at the moment. So you can see whizzing around actually the class 411, and let me just try for a different camera angle there. We've got the class 411 whizzing around. I don't often run that, it is a bit cumbersome. And it does pair up really nicely with that class 411. I like to run them as a pair. Right, John Nutman, hi to you. Ohio Steam and Steel, hi to you. B2000 RO Toys channel, hi Jenny and Zoe. What's the best DCC system for OO scale railways? The TCS system comes very highly recommended. I'm actually up in the loft. Now, I use the Gauge Master DCC01, I think this is. This is the Prodigy Express. Now, be warned, if you're not using this through a booster module, and I use the DCC Concepts Alpha Power Base, primarily to give a lot more power to the layout so I can run a lot of locomotives. But it has a very messy waveform, and it is known to potentially spike locomotives and can, not saying it will, but can sometimes cause decoders to pop. If you run it through something like the DCC Concepts Alpha Power Base system, booster system, absolutely fine. You shouldn't get a problem with that, but just be warned, it is a budget introductory level system. The Hornby Select, I've not heard very many good things about that, it has to be said. But the TCS system, the one which actually Ken Patterson on What's Neat this week is sponsored by and does speak very highly of, that I also have one of those. It's currently plugged into Mineth Tatis, and I've been using it on some television filming as well to power up some very, very interesting things. I can't tell you a lot about them because the TV series isn't being shown until sometime in the autumn, so I can't really give away too many details. But I use that on all the other layouts, and this, because it is going through the Alpha base system, I leave up here. And also because one of the redeeming features of this is that it does have the separate programming track output, which for me just makes it a little bit easier to do the programming. Mark Jenkins says Silverlink OO is a nice A4. To be honest, all the A4s are really nice. We had an A4 running session last week, and I had I always want to say Police Chief Wiggum, but it's is it Frank K. Wiggum or something like that, or Walter K. Wiggum, in that experimental purple. Now, I was talking with a few people after the stream about that, and because we were trying to work out which locomotives actually received that experimental purple. I think the experimental blue is a lot better known, certainly a lot more locomotives received that livery, but I did a bit of research and there were actually 4 A4s that received experimental purple. There was also I think it was King Henry III, one of the Great Western Railway King class locos, one of the, I think it might be either Merchant Navy, I think it could well be a Merchant Navy class locomotive, not sure which one. It was in the list as just being unnamed, so one of the ones, so actually it wouldn't have been Merchant Navy, it might have been a Battle of Britain class locomotive, and that also apparently received it. And there was an A3, we think either A2 or A3, we believe, also received it. So quite a rare livery, it has to be said. Now the Cupboard Monkey has reappeared. Hello to you, Cupboard Monkeyness.
Hello.
So be prepared for some extreme trouble. It's behaving itself now, so I don't know what was going on before.
Could have just been that we pressed the switch buttons too quick.
Could be. Broughton Junction says, I used to live in Sydney, Australia, and the models from the main manufacturer there are beautiful and really detailed. Only issue I found was the motor and the price. Well, you're in luck if you still model Australian outline, or even if you don't, you just like a pretty locomotive, because today, in association with DCC Concepts, we've teamed up the Jenny Monday Club and DCC Concepts to offer very limited numbers of the Haskell EMD derived, Aussified EMD locomotives, really high quality, DCC fitted, for under £100, and I believe even with international postage, which I think they're charging about £10, don't quote me on that, they probably work out cheaper than buying the current range versions of these models in Australia. So certainly get the word out there. I know it's supposedly just for during the stream on a first come first served basis, and I'm just going to put the link into the for some reason it keeps forgetting what's in my my cut and paste buffer,
Right,
so I can't.
So I went to the shop, and I'm very happy now.
Oh, Bickies.
Hang on. No.
No?
No. I said I was going to the shop and asked if you wanted something. I never said I was buying it for you.
So you'll be sleeping in the shed today. What have
Some
you actually
cookies.
got? Chocolate chip cookies. That is so like you.
Big rolls.
Oh gosh, I haven't had fig rolls since I was quite little. Are these the ones that make you a bit regular?
Yeah, super sour things.
Oh, they're your thing, they are. Oh, my thing. Ah, so we're going on the non-alcoholic beer. These are actually really good. These and Beck's Blue I can well recommend. These are the Budweiser Zero. So whilst the Cupboard Monkey is mucking about with opening the box up, we've got Manthony 1956. Hello to you. Leslie Gilpin says, don't forget import duty. I've heard Australia has similar duty to the UK. Interesting point. But you won't pay VAT. And generally speaking, the VAT that you would have paid in the UK is about the same as the import duty. So theoretically, they'll come to about the same.
Yes.
But that is actually a good point. If you are outside of the UK, then do let DCC Concepts know, because I think there's something to do with the VAT.
Won't they know from the address?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll guess. It's also a great opportunity to buy something else if you're wanting from the DCC Concepts range, because I'm sure they'll slip it in the box and ship
Pete
it
Clark
the same.
says, oh, an advert halfway through.
Okay.
We didn't press anything for that. Has YouTube started putting adverts in the middle of live streams?
That's strange. We're not putting them in. So
Yeah, we did not do that.
Mark Holt, it is £10 for international postage. Jerry BVR, yeah, it says, yep, just ordered £10 postage to Ireland. Excellent. And they are lovely models, to the point where I brought this here so I had a model to physically show you guys, and I'm buying that one, so it's like that one's spoken for.
Yeah, so there's one less.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping I don't have the American Limited Models tank cars to hand because I've lent them to Rails of Sheffield for evaluating for them stocking the range. But I'm hoping that it will actually hook up to the couplings on those, and I will use it as a pseudo-American outline model for my forthcoming US outline railroading build. I think it is a standard EMD designed product. So, as I said before, there's a much bigger thing in the US for short line railroad modeling, fictional short lines, where you effectively create your own railway identity, or I should say railroad identity. And these might actually be a really good basis for doing that. Richard Swiderski, hello to you. Keith Broscombe says, what about Z21? I'm not an aficionado on different DCC systems, but Richard Brighton is in the chat, and Richard Brighton is very, very knowledgeable on such things, so I'm sure that he may well even have posted something up as well, just to answer people's questions. Ian Turvey says, loved your review of the gas turbine loco. Oh, thank you very much, and a big, big thank you to KR Models who lent me that to review it. What a beautiful looking model. I have seen a 5-inch gauge model that actually has a working gas turbine powering it. Interestingly enough, I was sent an email afterwards from the gentleman who actually helped KR Models in terms of sourcing the engineering drawings, who has actually built a 5-inch gauge model of the GT3, and that may even be the model that you're thinking of. But certainly, he sent me some pictures. It does look exquisite, and I'm really, I'm racking my brains, but I can't remember who it was. for some reason...
Jen, while you're looking around at trying to fix that, can I just ask you a couple of questions? Garthian would like to know why the TARDIS isn't visible anywhere and whether the Doctor is sick. And David Pippin says, how often do you service your locomotives?
As and when required, really.
That's the TARDIS.
The TARDIS, actually, yeah, because it's not... I'm really, really sorry about the TARDIS. Woo. It has ended up being slightly... slightly out of location. So
Pete Clark says it wasn't an actual advert, it was just when Jenny said about DCC content.
Ah, right, so yeah, I think it's derailed in the time.
I'm not sure that you count as an advert, more that you're just overly enthusiastic at your new job.
Yeah, I'm going to take this off because it's affecting the... it keeps crashing into the other locomotive. So, and it's caused it to derail. Oh, and now we've got a sound.
Yay, sound!
Oh, cupboard monkey,
Jenny.
how could you? Let me just turn that off. That's the Class 101. I did talk a little bit before about that. Let me just make sure this doesn't scoot off when I put it on the track. So I'm going to just put this here, so it should be just in...
Sam Shackleton has a great line here. We're talking about servicing and saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as he typed that, your railway crashed.
Yeah, also, incidentally, how's the computer coming along? It wasn't broken, but I wanted to add a SATA controller card, and it turned out that the PCIe 1x bus with 3 ports on it, the BIOS knows you've plugged something in, because if you move it, it goes, you've changed your hardware. But it doesn't even show up in Device Manager as unknown device, so I really don't know what's going on. The 16 times PCIe port is working. I can plug the SATA controller card into that, but excuse me, what it means is we've had to move to the onboard graphics card, which is probably all right, actually.
We're hoping that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, because I'm going to be multi-monitoring on this. Now, one of the things that I'm being dragged kicking and screaming into the year of the fruit bat, I have to learn how to do my own editing. So I've got a lovely spanking new monitor. I've upgraded the RAM on this computer. So the Monday Club streaming computer is going to become very important in the life of not just this channel, but also with my work with DCC Concepts.
Not a plug.
No, not a plug. I am quite honestly saying I have finished my previous day job. I did my last day on Saturday. And I am now a free agent for a week, and then I start at DCC.
Does that mean that those of us who watch Crime Watch religiously will no longer see you in your award-winning role as a shelf?
I believe you'll find that was you who was the shelf.
Hello to Anthony Dickinson, how are you doing?
A big hi to you, great to see you. And we've got 426 people in. Don't forget to click that like button if you haven't already done so. And do please consider sharing the stream on social media. Let other people know that the Monday Club is on and welcoming of everybody out there to talk about all things trains and chat. It's a great place for like-minded individuals to hang out and just get together once a week with people. And I know there's a lot of people still, we're right on the cusp of lockdown starting to tail out, and it is great. We've got through this, people, haven't we?
Yes.
But we always found from the outset that we would not miss a day, and we haven't actually. For the fullness of lockdown, we have not. We may have cut short a couple because of illness, but we have not missed a Monday Club.
Richard Brighton would just like to point out that actually they need a shelf.
Oh, well, Cupboard Monkey, there's your calling. And a big hello to New Junction as well. Ruben Ashwell says, biscuits. Richard Swiderski, sorry, Amtrak Junction says, I can't wait until the Hornby River Rossi Amtrak Acela train set to come out this summer. Excellent. There's a lot of really great models, actually. That, you know, other than, you know, we get kind of carried away with like UK outline stuff, but my eyes are getting opened to overseas modelling. Really liking some of the models I've seen for Australian models, but also Swedish outline stuff as well. And doing the work that I've done for Modeliana Schwags Magazinette, so big up all my Modeliana Schwags Magazinette posse, has really opened my eyes to some of the Swedish and Scandinavian outline models. I do like a lot of the US outline stuff. This can become really expensive. Main Train Esports says, my alpha system works a treat now thanks to you. Oh my word, I am so glad. I know it's not something that you can particularly see on my layout because it's tucked away underneath, but it's been fault free, all the touch wood, fault free all the way through usage. And one of the other bonuses of the power base, alpha power base from DCC Concepts is that the TCS handset will plug direct to it, so you don't actually need the separate base station, which is really great.
Pete Clark says, while you're at work, did you take a selfie? And Keith Pointer says, Zoe, where's my Coke? It was
it's over there.
It was sent to you via email. Did you not get it?
No. DH Fail posting it, so you might want to check Eindhoven.
Yeah.
Breezer707 says, hi Jenny, do you know if Rails of Sheffield are back stocking Hornby? Now, I know that there's one of the Merchant Navy, was it the Adriatic line, something like that, in the experimental blue livery turned up at Rails of Sheffield. Now, I don't know if they're back stocking Hornby. I actually haven't asked. I will ask. I should have asked, but it's been so busy I haven't. I don't think they are. I'm not sure what source they've come through. It may be that they've been overstocked that's come via a third party. I actually don't know. I'm just guessing there. But as far as I'm aware, they're not stocking Hornby in general, but yes, I know about the Merchant Navy, the unrebuilt Merchant Navy that turned up brand new at Rails of Sheffield.
So we've got an interesting comment here. It's just scrolled off my screen from Lifestyle Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
So you may know Lifestyle Unleashed.
I do. That is NWinds 3D, and of course we are doing the full review on the NWinds 3D long tank Hudswell Clark replacement body to fit over the old style Hornby Daypole Terrier chassis.
Okay, so while I asked if you knew them, then you went into your spiel. Lifestyle Unleashed has actually said something here. Zoe, your donor loco has been won in an eBay contest. Hoping to post your kit later this week. Would you like to explain to everyone what that's about?
Yes, the Cupboard Monkey for Monkey See, Monkey Build, which I know we haven't done much of for a while.
That's because I haven't finished the next episode. I've been working on it since September.
Oh, the Cessna.
Yes.
But the Cupboard Monkey is taking on for a charity challenge to put together and paint and finish a locomotive from the NWinds 3D range with a time. It's basically on a timer, and for every week under the deadline that she manages to complete this, NWinds 3D will very kindly donate an amount to the charity. Also, all of you guys are able to also make donations to that charity as well. I know Lifestyle Unleashed. Oh, excuse me, there's a lot of gas in that bit. If they post the details in the chat, then we're obviously supporting that as well. Will Tucker says, your pillbox scene camera pic shows back to front. I know, we can't work out why it's doing that.
Every time we change it round, it reverses all the others.
Yeah.
So we just have to go with what we've got, unfortunately, and that's backward or vision.
Crossways Point Junction says, got a question for the Cupboard Monkey. Which cameras do you use to do your live streams, and do you have a link for them? It's they're
Logitech C720.
No, C270.
270, that's it. They're very good, but they're 720p, so if you're looking for ultra high definition, it's not going to work for you. The higher ones will work.
But if you're streaming, you don't have the bandwidth to pump out.
Especially if you're doing multi-camera, which is what we do.
Yeah.
You have to keep that bandwidth limited, otherwise you end up crashing.
Mm-hmm.
So we use the Logitech C270 cameras. You can get them from Amazon. They're about 30 quid at most. I highly recommend them. They're pretty damn good.
They are actually, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've got at least 5 up here. There's another one downstairs because you bought an extra one, so there's 6, 7. Yes, so we've got 7 of them, of which 6 are up here in the.
Yes.
Yeah, because I got 5 scenes plus me as well, which is 6.
Ham Shackleton says the Jenny cam has gone jerky. Railway cameras. I'm sorry to say the Jenny cam is always jerky because it's pointed at jerky Jenny.
Hey. John Nelson says, "Hey y'all, it's me, John_N from NC. Definitely yes, you're one of the
hello.
Patreons. It's great to see you as well." Ham Shackleton said, "Yeah, I think I'm well behind on the comments." Peter
How
Reed.
different from any other day is that?
Peter Reed asks, "Jenny, what size will your US layout be?" I'm probably going to go for some kind of a module. I might actually look up. I know that the NMRA do a standard where you can build a standard module which you can take along to clubs, excuse me, and it will plug to the adjacent module. So it's like got a standard for size and where the track positionings in and out are. Other than that, you can just build what you want on it. And I might look into doing something like that so that at a future date, I could take it to a show and kind of plug it into a bigger layout.
Oh my goodness, Lifestyle Unleashed says that the charity for Zoe's charity build is Reunite International, who help parents of children who are abducted and taken abroad by the other parent. That is an excellent charity. Thank you for highlighting that, Lifestyle Unleashed.
Definitely, and we are absolutely happy to be supporting that charity through the Monkey See, Monkey Build Challenge. Richard Brighton says, US websites don't show tax on the price, so the price is the same wherever you are, but then you get stuck. Yeah,
that always annoys me.
Yeah, when I was in America, I found it really irritating because you'd get stuff that would be like 99 cents. So you'd have a $1 bill, and you go to the counter, there's my $1 bill for this 99 cents item. It's like, oh yeah, but plus general sales tax takes it up to something like $1.06. Alright, so why don't you put that on the price?
Yeah.
And I just found it really annoying. Right, interesting enough, the DCC Concepts website apparently will show no VAT if your IP address is out of the UK. Woohoo!
Yes, but you will get charged if you're in the UK.
Yeah. Oliver Soul Road Junction, evening to you. Great to see you. Hope I find you well. Anthony Lee Dickinson, Pete Clark says, when Jenny said about Jenny saying about DCC Concept... Oh, sorry, I am well behind here. So, right.
Some people were asking why people were mentioning Game Hammer. That is my gaming channel, Game Hammer Classic Gaming, which is why I show up in the chat when I'm talking in the chat as Game Hammer Classic Gaming.
Yeah, that's the Cupboard Monkeys handle. Big hello to Juliet Jones as well, who asks, Jenny, which is your express line? Pretty much the 2 outer ones. So you'll see the Class 411 just whizzing round there with the forward 9 on the end, and then the long rake of blue-grey Mark 1s behind the Weathered Network Southeast Class 50. Those 2 are notionally the express lines. There are 2 other lines, which is effectively the goods avoiding line, and then there's also another line which I think actually we've got the express up, express down, goods up and goods down. I think I'll have to look up actually. I did look up at
What's
one
that?
point.
Trousers up and trousers down? Ooh,
Yes, but then there's also a couple of locos which using the DCC Concepts ABC shuttle modules in conjunction with the Zen Black decoders.
Which have actually worked out really well.
Yeah, I love them, which is why you see they're still chugging around up and down. They are making their way up and down various parts of the layout up here on Weir Yard, and they will just do that automatically. It's a great system, very versatile as well, but it means that you can make much more use of areas of your layout and get more trains running over and above what you've got physical complete loops for, without needing operator input. Once you set them running, they just keep on running. So if I go to...
Jenny is having a hard time at the moment, not laughing for the fact that in the corner of her eye I was pulling faces.
So at some point, very, very shortly, in the middle of your screen, down there near the bottom, just to the left of the chat, you will see, there it goes, there's the HCO Coke Hopper, with one of the Class 25s that's on the ABC shuttle. And as you see, it's a great way of making use of other areas of your layout.
Big Freak says, Jenny, would you like to invite Kathy Millett to Weir Yard? She has a great North American layout and is a brilliant modler. You've met Kathy Millett, haven't you?
Yes, we did GMRC Series 2 together, and bumped into her in passing at places like Worley. But yeah, it's just if schedules collide, and I'm very, very busy these days, obviously doing lots of build work for TV and lots of video content. But yeah, I think she lives somewhere near Birmingham or Coventry, but I'm not entirely sure on that. Right, James Pett says, I approve of model railways not needing operator input. It is great,
So do I.
and you can actually have an end-to-end type layout where you could use the ABC modules to completely automate it. So you could actually go to an exhibition, have your trains running, and they can sort of, there are more things you can do with them. I use it in a very basic way where it just literally shuttles out and back. But you can interlock them with signals, with point work. And actually on one of the Monday clubs, somebody did send in a video where the entire layout was automated in that way.
They did, yes.
And it was absolutely amazing to watch. And I would love to see.
I think I've selected a camera there that's got nothing going on it. Sorry.
Yeah, are we? Is that actually? Oh yes, it is actually.
There's just nothing on it.
Well, there will be if you waited long enough. Barry Turner says, "Hi Jenny, I have 4 Hornby Class 50, but because I am DC, I have never heard one running. Any chance of helping me out?" As luck would have it, my Class 52 does have a sound chip in.
Which one's the Class 52?
Class 50.
Which one is it?
The one making the noise.
Yeah, that's
So if I go, look, just do it.
I think you pressed at the same time I did.
Yes, I did. So if you would get your little mitts off this, then I will. You've crashed the thing. You really have.
It's not my fault. I was getting in there.
Yeah, because you had to. Right. So anyway, that is the Class 50. I'm going to turn that off because it does get quite noisy otherwise.
Okay, you really have messed this up, Jen.
Well,
it's starting to get jerky again on the live stream. Whatever you've done to the computer, it's cut out bandwidth.
Yeah, I will sort that out, don't you worry. So, Adi Pullen, hi to you. James Petts has already spotted TARDIS in the wagon.
I was hoping it would be a bit less obvious.
Dave Pippin, FB TV Entertainment, says, Jenny, do you have a model shop near you?
Yeah.
We have several. We have Bolton Model Mart is arguably the closest. It's one that I can walk to. There's also the Loco Shed at Whitefield, and then a little bit further afield, one of my personal favourite model shops, Arcadia Models in Shaw. So those are 3 local model shops that I do frequent. Going slightly further afield, there is a model shop in Lee. I believe there's one in Warrington as well. There used to be one in Preston, but I believe that's gone, which was Transport Models. There's Millennium Models in Leeds, and further afield I do quite often go to 53A Models over in Hull. Durham Trains of Stanley I've been in from time to time, and then of course Hatton's Rails of Sheffield, but I do tend to buy a lot of stuff mail order. I like to support some of the smaller shops, and as we've done with the Mystery Shopper New Old Stock, I've also visited some of the ranges of really great value items from places like the Hereford Model Centre. We've just recently done TMC, and I will keep searching for you guys, looking for those new old stock bargains, because I know in this day and age it is an expensive hobby, which is why, in association with DCC Concepts, the Jenny Monday Club has teamed up to bring you an all-singing, all-dancing locomotive from the Australian manufacturer Haskell, in a variety of liveries on a strictly first-come, first-served basis for under £100 DCC fitted. and they are available in the link in the description box. Again, they do seem to be selling reasonably well, so get them whilst you can. Dongit's Model Railway says, I should definitely go back to getting my ABC stuff working. I have all the hardware ready. The train detection is working. I just need to get the software right. Actually, with the ABC shuttle system with the Zen Black decoders, I've actually found them incredibly easy to set up because there's only, I think it's 2 CVs to change on the locomotive. And the actual module, there's some headers, so you can set it to either be an intermediate stop. So, for example, if you want a train to stop at a station and then keep going in the same direction that it was going, you can change the physical jumpers on the module. Or if you want it to be like the end of the line and then reverse, you can do that. But you can also have it interlocked with points and signals. So, for example, if it reaches a point where the point is set against the section, it will slow down and stop at the signal, wait for it to get a green light or the signal be pulled off and the points to change, and then it will continue going. So there's a lot that you can do with the ABC modules. Mine are actually quite simplistic because I am a little bit of a techno Luddite. I'm the international cohort of the techno weenies.
You are. I believe you're the president of the Techno Weenies, aren't you?
Probably, yes. But certainly, I did do a full video on them, and it's. I really like the system. I really do. Also, bear in mind that a lot of other decoder brands do also support ABC shuttling. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that you can make good use of. Andy1962 says, it's a great help, Jenny. Really got a load of bargains from Hereford and TMC. Great news for those of us on a budget, which is exactly why I've been doing it. I know from experience that it sometimes you can end up bulking a bit at the price of new models. When I bought the all-new London Brighton and South Coast Railway Burnt Umber liveried H2 Atlantic from Bachmann, it was close on £190, so it can get, excuse me, very, very expensive. Fraser Cottrell, hi to you. Julia Jones says, hold on, I was reading that. Somebody's just deleted the message.
Okay, I've had a message from Richard Brighton saying if anyone would like to see the RRP for the Haskell locomotive that you've got a deal on,
yeah,
the full price version is on their official website at haskellco.net. That's all one word, haskellco, then .net/L class, all one word, .html. I'll put that into the
and what
chat
price?
as well.
What is its current price?
I am bringing that up. It would have been a good idea if I'd had a look at that first, wouldn't it?
Yes,
My
because that
goodness.
was the obvious question.
$295.
So 295 Aussie dollars in pounds. What is that? Let's just work that out.
Yeah, Australian. Let's have a look. West Rail Experimental Blue, that one. Price 268 Australian dollars. So I'll put that in. It's alright, you keep going.
Yeah, I'm just curious what that is in pounds.
268.
Ruben Ashwell says the Class 50 is pushing the TARDIS. Is it?
Australian dollars.
No. It's Class 25.
£148.64.
So it does offer a huge saving
massive
over
saving.
RRP. Roof Railway says, do you find it funny when I say the name Minas Tatus?
I have a good friend in Rome called Minith Tatus.
Yes.
Silence! I will not have my friend mocked by the common soldiery.
Jennifer,
throw him to the floor, sir.
oh yes, of course. Jennifer Garrett says, yes, definitely recommend Carnforth Model Shop at the station. Excellent. Yeah, Garthian as well. It's about £150 or so. So basically, you're getting it at 2/3 of the current RRP. So actually, that probably means that if you're in Australia, it's still cheaper to import it from the offer with the Monday Club and DCC Concepts than to actually buy it in Australia.
Very jerky tonight.
I'm going to have a look in the BIOS settings. I think that I've throttled the USB for some reason. Jay says, I'd love to try DCC for myself one day, but the cost of converting all my locos would be astronomical.
Do it in stages.
Don't do it all in one go. The way I did it is that Weir Yard is actually it's set up so that one of the tracks, whilst it is currently running on DCC, it's very easy to swap over to DC running. And that means that you can still run a lot of locomotives and trains on DC, but as you slowly build up a bigger and bigger fleet that's DCC fitted, so you can convert more of the layout over by just switching over the power feeds to DCC. And that's exactly how I did that up here on Weir Yard. So over the space of about 18 months, I slowly converted my fleet. Now, that actually is quite a quick convert. But you don't have to go that fast. But you can do it. And it's also safe to say that a lot of DCC fitted locomotives can be set through, I think it's CV29, to be able to run on DC. Now, what you do need to avoid is don't have any of the high frequency track cleaners on the track, because they will fry the decoders.
Everyone's saying Jenny is shaking again. No, guys, that's just how Jen is. She actually runs at that resolution and that frame rate in real life. We have to boost her signal just to get her normal.
J. Paul Anderson says, I just bought 2 kit-built LNER X Great Central Railway tank locos on Vectors. Paid a pretty penny for them too. Yeah, there's some really high quality stuff at Vectis auctions, but you can end up paying a lot of money. But if it's been professionally made to a very high standard, you will have an exceptionally good model.
Well, we've got some interesting news here from Ben Tullett.
Yeah.
Cheltenham Models has a sale on.
Oh,
Jenny will not have any money in her bank account by tomorrow now. Thanks for that.
Yeah, who says I had any anyway?
That's true.
Let's see what the cupboard monkey brought for me. So, Chucky. Oh no.
And Will Tucker says, if you can forgive their gratuitously sexist adverts, C&M Models in Carlisle is worth a root around. What ridiculously sexist adverts? What's this?
Do you remember how Ford Cortinas used to get sold in the 1970s with a scantily clad woman draped over it?
All right. They do that with trains, do they?
I don't know, I'm guessing...
Don't they squash them?
I'm guessing it might be something like that. They've probably got some Dolly Bird on the adverts.
Oh my goodness, the things we learned tonight, eh?
James Pett says, I've never heard of using ABC together with computer automation. It can be done, I suppose. Yeah, certainly. I would suggest taking a look at the full DCC concept system. Obviously, other systems may well be available, but certainly the system that they demonstrate in their shop is really, really comprehensive. Don Gets Model Railway says, Jenny, put that GPU back in. It was probably used for accelerating your video processing.
Yep.
Plus enabling the onboard means halving the RAM bandwidth.
Yep.
I can reduce the amount of memory that the onboard graphics processor has access to.
Why would you reduce the amount of memory?
Oh, so I should be increasing it.
Yes.
It is using something like, I think it's 1 gigabyte.
It needs more.
Huh. Well, that's unfortunate because I don't have the card slot to put the thing in. Oh, I want my SATA controller. I'm going to have to buy a SATA drive caddy system so I can hot swap drives. That's the only solution I can think of.
You need your graphics card. I was telling you would.
Yeah, Theo Not Leo says, when I last went to Carnforth Model Shop, they have so good bargains. I think they had a limited edition Bachmann wagons for £50-ish. Yeah, there's some really great deals out there, and it's one of the reasons that I've done the Mystery Shopper series of going and checking out some of the lesser well-known model shops. Oh, actually, TMC and Hereford Model Centre are reasonably well-known, but certainly they've got some great bargains there.
So Garfield has a very interesting statement here. Have people seen the Stafford Barn Railway post I put in the Facebook group over the weekend? Festinor Locomotive Prince is coming to, where's it gone? It's visiting Stafford Barn in June for Tranquil's 50th birthday.
Excellent.
So, will we be visiting?
We might have to, actually.
I think we'll have to.
White Wall Wheels 1 Hardcore MOHs. The incentive is you get more subscribers. I think that's the answer to somebody else's question.
Right.
Wangok says Cheltenham Models. Yeah, I've had some great stuff from Cheltenham Models as well. Paul Astel also recommends Spot Models in Swindon. Oliver Saul Road Junction says, unfortunately, there are very few model shops in Northern Ireland, so eBay is a great place for bargains. I bought an EWS Class 66 that wasn't running well. Front drive shaft was displaced, £55. That's actually a really great price. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase says, do you use pizza to boost the signal? Sorry, couldn't resist. Jody Smith says, I recommend A2B Model Railways Unit 3, the George Centre, 30 North Parade, Matlock, Bath, Derbyshire, DE4 3NS. So no confusion about where they are. Their prices are low. So there's some really great recommendations in the chat there. As I always say, do pay attention to what people are recommending, because there's some really, really great things out there. And with a lot of these model shops, it's simply a case of not enough people know it's there to go and buy it. With the likes of Rails of Sheffield and Hattons, I think people are used to trolling through their bargains and hoovering them up.
Matt Avell has also pointed out a very interesting thing. The graphics card is likely being used to compress the screen for YouTube. Without it, you could be bottlenecked on CPU power. I'm currently looking, and it jumps between 60 and 75% of CPU power being used just for ops.
Oh, interesting.
We may have issues streaming video.
Okay, well, what I will do is I'll take the SATA controller card out and I will put the video card
Sorry,
back
hon,
in.
it's going to have to be.
Okay, and what I'll do is I'll get... Actually, what I will do is I will put that SATA controller card in the one in the library and load it up with the hard drive, so that essentially that becomes our file server.
Alright.
Retro Mickey 82, big hello to you. Patrick Webb as well. Andy Ambrose, Rule 1 Model Railway says, over 400 in the stream now. It's time to bring in dominoes. Wow, well, are we playing dominoes? Oh, I tell you what I really liked as a kid. Do you remember Domino Rally? I always wanted one, but I never got one.
I saw it once, and it wasn't as good as you would think.
No, because you probably didn't get anywhere near enough dominoes to do what they showed you on the adverts.
Usually not. But the other big thing is, a lot of them was set in blocks, so that you could just pick the block up and turn all of them back up again. Because that limits your creativity. You can't move them in the block.
David Watts says, hi everyone, just started watching and tickled the like button. Yes, don't forget, tickle the like button and consider sharing us on social media and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. And don't forget that the Jenny Monday Club Wagon, in conjunction with the Cura Scale and fulfilled exclusively through Rails of Sheffield, is still available to order, but as of the time of doing this, we are at over 50% of the wagons have been spoken for, so you need to get in quick. They are going fast. Let's have a look. What else?
We're also being suggested that instead of filling up the library computer with the storage, maybe get a network attached storage device.
The library computer doesn't get used much.
True.
So I'll have a play about, but I think what's apparent is that actually the nitty-gritty of it is nothing that I've changed in the BIOS.
Right.
It's the onboard graphics.
Yeah,
that's not
I think
coping.
it is. We've got an interesting question that keeps coming up. Dave Pippin is really, really eager for us to answer.
Yeah.
What is the best analog controller? Now, I think you've mentioned your theories on this before, so take it away, Jenny.
The best analog controller, in my opinion, is the Gauge Master Model D. It has outputs for 16 volts AC and 12 volts DC for powering accessories, and it will also power 2 running tracks, and I think it is a great value for money controller, bulletproof, reliable. The Gauge Master controllers, certainly the DC controllers, come with a lifetime guarantee, and such is their faith in their handiwork, and I have never had a problem with any Gauge Master controllers. Up here on Ware Yard, all of the accessories and the CDU, the lighting, is all powered through a Gauge Master Model D controller, which is about 30 years old, and it's still going strong. So if there's one controller that I could recommend, it has to be the Gauge Master. Now, they do have others in the range that are really good as well. I think the Series E is the basic one. What it doesn't have is that 12 volt DC flat output for powering accessories. It only has a single track output. They also have like the Model Q, which is a 4-track version of the Model D. So if you're wanting to say run 4 trains at once, it also gives you 2 DC 12-volt outputs and 2 16-volt AC outputs. So it's got a lot of poke. But yeah, definitely Gauge Master.
Crossways Point Junction says, do you have any videos to play tonight, sir? We do. We have a fair few. The problem is it's not going to work because of the bandwidth issues that we're having at the moment.
Yeah, I'm seeing
I think the best thing to do is, how about, since Jen, you're off this week, we'll fix the computer and we'll have a virtual model railway exhibition special.
We will on Sunday, because on Sunday I'm part of the 24-hour model railway thing being done through the MRYCG. So we will do that. We will just have an hour of trains running by as part of that.
There we go.
But yeah, there's definitely some jerkiness. I can see it on my phone. What's interesting is it's not jerky on the screen. It's at the point that it bundles it off.
Yes, because the processor is getting overwhelmed. And that's the problem.
And I think when I multi-monitor,
what I'm saying is we should have a quick, like an hour or so special of showing off videos and having a bit of a chat, maybe Wednesday. How's that?
We could do that, yeah.
Yeah, why not? We'll make use of the fact that you're here for a bit. J. Paul Anderson is talking to someone in, I think that is Dutch. So I don't know what's going on there, but I just noticed. And Rule 1 Model Railways is calling for Gronkfest 2021. Jen, I'm going to ask right now, with my fist on the table, doomph.
Careful.
When is Gronkfest?
2021.
When?
Next week. Okay. Next week we will have Gronkfest.
Gronkfest! Gronk it up, baby!
So we'll be doing a Class 8 themed stream. In fact, actually, no, let's broaden it a little bit. All shunting locomotives are welcome, but we're going to call it Gronkfest with a little asterisk, and underneath it say all shunting locomotives are welcome.
Other shunting locomotives are available. Gronkfest. Gronkfest. Gronkfest.
Right. Mike at Pudham Junction asks, will you be doing an N-gauge version of the Wagon?
No.
No immediate plans at the moment, but never say no.
There's 2 reasons, isn't there? Jen and I were talking about this the other day. The first reason being that we're doing it in conjunction with someone else. We're essentially tagging on to the end of the production run.
What I might do is investigate. It would be a Daypole wagon, and I may approach Daypole because they do lower production runs, and maybe look to get maybe a short production run in N-gauge for a Monday Club wagon. But it's something I can look into, definitely. But it all depends on demand. Essentially, if I order 50 of these wagons, say, because Daypole do allow much shorter production runs, I don't want to be ending up with having 45 of them that don't sell.
And that's our biggest worry. I think I was talking to Jen about the fact that we always say there's lower demand. So do we do it on a Kickstarter? We'll order it if we get X amount of orders. Because that way we'll know what the demand is.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's all up in the air about what we can do and how we could do it. Everyone's now very, very happy about Gronkfest.
David Watts also asks, if wagons sell well, will you do an LMS or LNER wagon? Now, this all depends on them selling out and selling out well, but I do have plans that if that is the case, then maybe the 2022 Jenny Monday Club wagon may well be a private owner liveried wagon suitable for sort of era 2, 3 and 4. So I've yet to really make any approaches on this. It is purely down to the current run selling out. But if we do a 2022 Jenny Monday Club wagon, then we will look to bring one out as a private owner type livery.
You're going to love this. Garfield says, well, you do know that if they don't sell, you could convert your Engage wagons to 009 quite easily. Don't tempt her, Garthian.
Could be.
We've got little double O gauge already here. It's creeping around. I'm losing the battle. My game storage is getting moved out the way for minute tatters.
KHR Railways, hi to you. Evan Terry says jittery Jenny. Yeah, we're going to fix that by next time. We think we know what the problem is. We've tried an experiment with the computer. It hasn't really worked out. So what we're going to do...
It was a good try.
Yeah. Right. A lot of people have heard good things about the Gauge Master D. Rule 1 Model Railways, Patrick Webb as well. Hosseini Fernando says, do you have an A3, Jenny? Yeah, I do actually. I've got Flying Scotsman with sound fitted that was very kindly donated to the channel.
An A3 Jen? I thought you were only A4.
Garthian says, I still have my Gauge Master combis for testing locos on DC before they get converted to DCCUs. Yeah, pretty much the entire Gauge Master range is all good. I've never seen a dud. Southern Train Girl, hi to you. Rob B. Tim's Model Railway in Different Views says it's been hard for everyone during the lockdown, and I hate the lockdown.
Hasn't it?
But we've got the light at the end of the tunnel now. So I know actually from today, two families or up to 6 people and up to 6 people can meet in private gardens. So I think there's going to be a lot of barbecues this week. And then hopefully I think the key pointers are it's either the 12th, 14th or 18th of April.
LMS Ryan, it is not okay. You're getting timed out. That's not allowed.
Well, what have they done?
You don't want to know.
Oh. Have they told everybody that
they're just being transferred.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable. This group is for everyone. No one should feel obliged to try and to fit into someone else's box. Yeah. It's not acceptable.
And that's it. It's
it doesn't have any change of your life, what someone is or isn't. So just leave it.
Yeah,
live your life.
There's some things that you just don't ask people about.
Yeah, there are some things you just don't do.
Barry Turner says, haha, I have found number 2 bottle of London Pride in the fridge. Hooray! Not had a beer since Christmas, and I think it's working. Excellent. Brayworth Park, can't wait for the pub to open. Oh yeah.
Well, you're going to have to.
Otherwise, the landlord's going to come out like, oh, let's just unlock the pub. Like,
how did you get in here?
Yeah, and where's all my beer gone? Chris Usher, hello to you. And Rumby says, our tunnel seems to get longer. Are you sure your train's not just stalled inside it? Naive Gage says, don't feed the troll, don't move. Yeah, I know, but some things, it's like sometimes you just have to say, look, there's some things you don't ask people, it's just rude.
It's just how it is. Garthian says, it's my youngest nephew's 9th birthday today. I managed to get him into our great hobby of Christmas. He is now mad on model railways and Thomas the Tank Engine.
Excellent.
So, happy birthday to you.
Squash, tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter.
Happy birthday to you. Oh.
Mark Holt says, from today you could have put Les in the garden and given him his own camera. Yes, I have so missed Les actually.
We need to get him here.
And also, I mean, a big shout out to Les because he unfortunately lost his dog recently. Monty was getting on a bit. Starting to suffer a bit with health.
He was such a nice dog. I always liked seeing Monty. He was so nice.
Yeah. So we do send our best wishes to Les and hope that that things are going okay. He's obviously moved house as well down to Whittick, near Colville. It's actually, I think it's between Colville and
I've
Barden.
heard of there.
Whittick.
No, Colville.
Yeah. And near Barden. As in Barden Aggregates.
I don't know. But yeah, rest in peace, Monty. Once Senny Fernando says, Jenny, you should make some videos with some 14 XXX and L class.
I think it's 14 XX. I don't actually have an auto tank. Now,
do you know? I thought you had an XX.
Actually, no, I do, but in O gauge.
Right.
So obviously can't really run it up here. But what I would say is that I know that Hatton's commissioned DJM to do a 14XX, which when it arrived was considered to be a bit of a missed opportunity. There's also the Hornby Railroad version. Now, we've not seen that for a little while. So it does beg the question, are you needing a little bit of...
I'm starting to... Our problem with me today is that I went out for a very long walk in the middle of the day because I'm an idiot.
Yes, you are.
And now I've got sunstroke.
Does that help you?
Yes.
So is that nice?
Yes.
I'm currently wafting our main fan at...
Yes. Turn on the fans.
Yeah.
Like,
Yay!
What are we like? Oh my
big
goodness.
hello to Somerset Andy, Robin Ashwell, Davil. It says, happy birthday in the minor key by Bill Bailey is hilarious. Actually, Bill Bailey is quite good. Paco Garcia Carnero, hello to you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Garthian says, Whitwick is between Colville and the A42 on the opposite side of the Colville bypass to where the old Snibston Discovery Centre was. I mean, give his address by all means. We'll all turn up on his door.
James Pett says sunstroke in March. Goodness me, yes. But James, what you have to remember about
easy. Yeah.
You have to remember about me is I'm not actually allowed to remove clothing on a mountain because when I do, people think Gondor is calling for aid.
Very much. Now, Michael Pollett says, hi Jenny, cooking a Madras curry on the multi-flue stove and enjoying your great chaotic show. Absolutely great. Boom!
Oh, that does sound absolutely lovely.
Matthew Dunmo says, hey Jenny, what are your thoughts of Rapido's announcement of the Titfield Thunderbolt models? They've actually announced a fuller range, so it's we're hoping that the Bedford OB bus might be amongst them. That would be a welcome addition. The Lion, as the Thunderbolt, I guess they would also do Lion. We might even see a 14XX. Now this is the big question mark, and we find out on the 1st of April, first thing in the afternoon, what exactly they're proposing. All we really know at the moment is they're doing a range of models because they've got the worldwide film license. Now you can pretty much guarantee that's going to include Lion. But as to the other stuff, I mean, there's a Great Western towed brake van. Now, we've been well catered for with these. Hornby's brought out a super detail one. We've also had 2 different versions from Oxford Rail, and we've also got the venerable Bachmann offering, which it's getting a bit long in the tooth, but it's still not too bad a model. So we're kind of well catered for when it comes to towed brake vans. What I would love to see is, I think, was it a L'Oreal wagon or oh, it's glued down, I can't show you. But the wagon that the coach was on, it may even have been a Lomac, that we haven't seen a high detailed model of, so it'll be interesting to see whether they bring that to the market. The 14XX auto tank is another big question. I would love to see them bring that to the market. The Bedford OB bus is obviously a must in my view. I think that would sell incredibly well, even outside of a Titfield Thunderbolt themed set. And then there's also the steamroller that Sid James was driving whilst he's got a very characteristic laugh. It's like,
oh, matron.
Yeah. Who was that supposed to be? That's like a small child tries to do hello matron.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Richard Swiderski says, Jenny, will you be live at 12 on the 1st of April, Rapido Titfield Thunderbolt? What day of the week is the 1st of April?
Oh, you're asking me questions like I'm supposed to know.
I think we probably ought to do a brief thing. So, today's the 29th. 30 days hasn't...
I have to look it up because...
Thursday.
You're making me think.
Thursday. I'm going to say
All
Thursday.
Right. Let's do it Thursday.
Yes, we can do Thursday. So, when the Rapido announcement is made, then, we'll do something short. It might not be very long, but we'll
do
something
something short. It might not be very long.
Mm.
Yes. This announcement brought to you from the Department of Redundancy Department.
Yeah. George says, really want someone to get hold of the 14XX tooling from DJ, as it was a really nice detailed loco. I'm led to believe it didn't run so well, so the chassis does need more work. Lance 2021, hello to you. J94, great to see you in. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase says, honestly, it was lovely weather today. It even got up to 16 degrees. Yeah, it did go very, very nice, to the point where we had to take our coats off when we went out for a walk.
I know, it was terrible. Jen actually had to remove a layer.
Yeah. Even Terry says, hi to you. Growler Blackwood Engage layout. Great to see you in. We're talking about helices, I think is the actual technical plural of helix, but I'm just being a pedant. Welcome to the inner circle of pedantry. We have a plentiful supply of semicolons and commas. George Botterini says, yes, as you know, it's apostrophes. Does anybody else go around with a black permanent marker and add apostrophes to signs that should be there but aren't?
I've taken to pronouncing all of these words as if they're Greek heroes from classical literature.
Oh?
Apostrophes and periscopies and things like that, and telephonies.
Okay.
I just think it's quite funny.
Do you really? And
I just switched that.
Oh, have you? Are we back to the one we were on before?
No.
Oh, okay. Ian White says, anyone ever made a Daypol JCB kit? Oh, yeah, there's one there. So, yes, have. It's actually quite a nice kit. Ian Hilper says, I am burning a steam engine scented candle. Actually, that could work. It's probably not a mass market appeal candle, but I think there's probably enough demand for it. Patrick Webb says, I visibly snorted at that. Evan Terry says, how did the cupboard monkey get sunstroke? Wasn't easy, but she managed. Banford Junction, hi to you. Garthian says, there is a very well preserved incline in Whittick. Well worth a visit as the foundations of the winding gear have been excavated and the incline is walkable. Interesting.
I'll show you how I got sunstroke. Look at this. Look at the colour of my skin. I'm luminous in this normal room light. Yeah. That's how I got sunstroke.
When she goes on holiday, it takes her 2 weeks just to turn white. Egg Rider says, as there was a 14XX in the Tipfield Thunderbolt, maybe Rapido will have something for us in their 1st of April announcement. I'm really hoping so. I really do hope that is one of the announcements. Broughton Junction.
Just go back 1 minute.
What?
What was that about a cat? It just clicked in my head. What are you talking about? Candles? What?
A scented candle.
What smell?
Steam locomotive smell. So it'd be like hot oil and coal burning.
I can actually imagine that selling quite well for people's model railway runs.
Yeah. Broughton Junction asks, Jenny, do you have any Class 43s? I have a single Class 43, but of course when we talk about Class 43s, I'm talking about the warship class. So to me, Classes 41, 42 and 43 are all warship class.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Davil says, in Guildford, there's a newsagent with an apostrophe after the W in news. So it's new agent.
It's the agent of new. That's it. So it's the agent that possesses new.
That is amazing.
We need some white paint on that. Lance 2021 says, Jennifer, what do you think about Accurascale announcing the Mark 5s and other projects? Hoping you're well. Thank you very much. We are very well. Thank you ever so much. The Accurascale Mark 5s, they do look really good, and if they're models that they've already brought to the market or anything to go by, these will be superb models. They're not for the period that I model, but I know a lot of people are into the bang up-to-date modern image scene, so I think that they will go down incredibly well. There's plenty of locomotives coming through, not just from Accurascale, but also from the likes of Daypol with the Class 68, Bachmann with the Class 70, which are contemporary with these. So I think that there's going to be a great market for these. I'm really looking forward to the Class 55s from Accurascale, and I've been told that they are actually selling out really quick. Some of the liveries of the forthcoming Accurascale Class 55s are sold out to pre-order, so if you do want an all-singing, all-dancing, modern spec Class 55 ready to run, you probably do need to get your order in quickly. Now, when they do arrive, I am hoping to be able to do a full review of those. I believe they should be here within the next month or two, but watch this space. I know that we've had a lot of delays with COVID, Chinese New Year, and then somebody went and parked a ship across the Suez Canal, which I can't believe helped.
Don't look at me when you said I didn't do it. It's not my fault this time.
I bet you did.
I did not.
I've seen you drive a car.
No, you haven't.
Yeah. Like, hey, look, see what? Oh, look
You've
at this.
seen me behind the steering wheel of a car. I don't think it counted as driving.
Yeah, I could just imagine you up on the bridge. Toot toot, woohoo! Man, it's like I'm gonna ram that guy in a camel. I bet he'll swerve first. Right.
Nancy Fernando says, Jenny, do you have a terrier?
I have loads of terriers. I have probably about 6 or 7 of them. And also, look out for the Friday video this week. We're doing the Enwins 3D replacement locomotive body of the Hudswell Clark long tank. That is a direct fit designed to fit straight onto your redundant old Hornby Daypole type terrier chassis. So if I have a fumble about up here, basically, if you've got one of these, which is the old style terriers, now looking a bit toy-like, because we've had the all-new Hornby and the Rails Daypole Terrier, well, this is an ideal opportunity to repurpose the chassis of these into a locomotive that has never been offered ready to run. And I've got a full review video of that coming up for Friday. And in fact, what really impressed me about that replacement body is it even has all the space to be able to do a hard DCC fit, which is something which is all but impossible to do on the original Terrier. So do look out for that. And I actually have 4 of the old style Terriers. The Hudswell Clark long tank locomotive, incidentally, was the type of locomotive. A lot of them were sold to the NCB. The version that Enwins 3D is doing is modelled on one that is preserved up in Ayr, I think it is, that was built for the NCB. But there were some that were built for the Manchester Ship Canal Railway, which is a particular favourite of mine. Now, they did have some slight modification that's immediately apparent to the front of the tanks. They were kind of sloped just to aid drivers' visibility, but it is the same type of locomotive. That number 67 and number 70, which are both preserved from the Manchester Ship Canal fleet, were Hudswell Clark long tanks.
So we've got a question here. Which is from Andy 1962. Jenny, I think you should get 00 models of yourself to place on your layout, a bit like the TARDIS, so we can see where's Jenny and where's Zoe. Now, I would agree to doing that as long as when they 3D scan me, they can trim a couple of stone off my stomach.
I'll lend you a corset. It'll give you an amazing cleavage because all that flab's got to go somewhere. Right.
Well, thank you very much.
I've just gone up to date on the comments because I was well behind. Lance 2021 says, Jennifer, how about the new Class 91 from Hornby? Yeah, there's some great models coming through, I must admit. James Petts, that's Wiven Model Railway says, which DCC decoder did you use for the Terrier? The Terrier, the hard wiring fitting of the old style Hornby Daypole Terrier for going underneath the Enwins 3D printed Hudswell Clark long tank body. I actually used a Train-O-Matic 8-pin because that's what I happen to have to hand. But pretty much any other decoder will work really well. Now, because it's a little bit lighter, you can either add some extra ballast to it, or you might want to consider fitting a Stay Alive.
We have a very brave comment here. Valleys 56XX says, I'm one of the few who are not that keen on terriers. Too many around by far. There, I said it.
Yeah,
them's fighting words.
No, but see, the thing is, I don't like Class 66s. I'm just really not fussed by them. And a lot of people say, why haven't you got Class 66? I don't like... not really that fussed by things like Voyagers, Pendolinos, Class 67s, Class 70s, Class 68s. They don't really do anything for me, so it's okay. And that's it. It's a very broad church is our hobby, and there's room in it for people who are into all manner of things. You don't have to like everything in railway modelling. Do what you like and you won't be disappointed. Will Tucker says, my cousins lent me a photo of me gazing at D9008, my Acura scale Deltic, at Leeds, 1972. Same photo has a 25 hauling a passenger train, but I remember those only on freights. Actually, I remember the Class 25s right at the very end. I can remember them on parcels traffic out of Bolton Trinity Street Station from what is now Platform 5, was originally Platform 5, but then was a Red Star Parcels depot. Vic Freak says, doesn't that Class 22 look good? Yeah, the Daypole Class 22 is a great model. I really do recommend it. You have to go back a few years to find the review that I did on that particular one, but it did score very, very well. Patrick Webb says, pardon the off-topic question, are you familiar with Corwin Railway Mania, and have you talked about doing a collab? I'd love to see you on this podcast. If he wants to get in touch, I'm always happy to do collabs. I'm currently doing a few for American channels. I do seem to have picked up quite a good following over in the US, but I'm always open to collaborations if people want to get in touch. Garthian says, Zoe, do you want some cream for that uncalled for burn from Jenny? Roger Wolstenholme says, I've just got the Harry Needle 07 for less than £100 from Hattons. There are some great deals about at the moment from a number of different retailers, Hattons included. Also seen them at Rails of Sheffield, I think Kernow Model Centre as well, for the Hellion Class 07. Now, I keep looking over there because I've got two over there. In fact, I'm going to, if I go to that...
Sorry, something's just popped up on my Twitter. And it is off topic, but I need to get your opinion on this because I think it's ridiculous.
Right.
The Houses of Parliament are about to spend £80 million to find out how much it will cost to renovate the Houses of Parliament.
Why does that... Why? Hold on. Whoa.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to tell politicians that when you get a quote from a builder, you don't pay for the quote. It's basically them saying, so, come on, what deal are you going to do for me?
Yeah.
You don't go, there's 80 million quid, tell me how much you want to charge me for doing the work.
Like, can't someone just tot all the various prices up with a calculator?
I'm sure my brother-in-law would give him a fabulous quote, and he wouldn't charge him a penny for doing it. Banford Junction, I have noticed you, so a big hello to Banford Junction. It's great to see you.
Imagine doing that on a layout. Like, right, I'm going to spend £2,000 to decide how much I should spend on building my layout.
Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Do they not understand that to get a quote doesn't cost anything?
That's ridiculous.
Timothy Kynard says, hello. Donald Thompson says, it was Leslie Phillips at the ship's wheel, left hand down a bit. Oh yeah, the Navy lark.
I thought it was Uncle Albert.
No. Uncle Albert probably put it into the bank during the war. Jay says, I love the old ex-Daypole Terrier. Fantastic model for its time. Still holds up today, in my opinion. Despite the new toolings, I think they would make excellent railroad models. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think they definitely, they're a pretty good model. In the railroad range, they would do quite well. I don't know whether Hornby would reintroduce them for the railroad range, but certainly they do have the tooling, and it would be nice to see them.
David Cook asks, Jenny, do you have any news on the Acura scale Deltic?
Yeah, imminent. Next month or two is what I've been told.
Excellent.
Oh,
yeah. Here's a good question.
Hussein Fernando says, Jenny, go get the Navy merchant Navy class. Yes, I would love the rebuilt merchant Navy class locomotive. It's just a case of getting round to it.
Oh my goodness. Larry Rogers says, Jan, do you weather any of your rolling stock using an airbrush? I've always wanted an airbrush. I remember back in the 80s, all of the heavy metal covers and the computer game artwork for the boxes and the magazines was all airbrushed, and it looked amazing. I always wanted one.
I don't have an airbrush. I do weathering. I did a video on weathering the Acura scale HUO hoppers, and I also did a video for Hornby as well, which was weathering their HTO hoppers. And that was all done using the Humbrol weathering washes and some techniques that I've picked up over the years. And it's a great way of doing it without the expense of an airbrush. Yeah, I'd give airbrushing a go. But I think you have to be a lot more careful with airbrushes. They're a lot less forgiving.
I would love to try airbrushing, but I know that I would mess it up something rotten. And there's no Control Z on real life, so I don't like it.
Crossways Point Junction says, you put on a very good show tonight, Jenny. Give yourself a pat on the back.
I don't think she's able to bend that way. Jen's getting on, you know.
Humanity Junction, big hello to you. How are you doing? Penna Lane TMD, hi to you. Growler Blackwood Engage Layout. Andy1962 says it's okay to like or dislike certain locomotives. I really wish people in our hobby could accept this. Amen to that.
What's wrong though? What?
Redvers B says, I usually only buy steam locos, but did succumb to the cute Ruston 48DS now. Yes, that is a great loco. I was lucky enough to review Les's Ruston. So when I did the review on the channel, that was actually Les's Ruston. But I don't actually have a Ruston. I'm going to have to get a Ruston, I think.
But you've got to remember, you might always go for steam. But one thing, being not steam, well, rule number one, your railway, your rules. It could be lost.
And we have a t-shirt that says that as well.
Yes, my railway, my rules.
William Robinson says, what would you suggest for a 20-year-old modeler who was really struggling buying brand new and even now pre-owned items are way too expensive? We've done a couple of videos now. I will be looking to do more of new old stock. If you look back through the channel videos, last Friday we did one on TMC. The highlight of that is the Ale Wagon. It's a Bachmann branch line, factory weathered, white ventilated van marked up as an ale wagon to work out of Park Royal Brewery in London for £12.55. Now that is an amazingly good price. Also, we've highlighted Hereford Model Centre, and they've got a lot of great deals on there, including their triple packs of the Great Western Railway liveried cattle wagons, the 8-ton Bachmann branch line wagons. Now, they're doing those at £27 a pack, or certainly they were. The current price for the Bachmann 8-ton cattle wagon singly is about £24. So you can have 3 for a couple of quid more than 1. And it's deals like that we've been highlighting. So do check out the video on TMC. Get over there. They're doing free postage at the moment on orders over £50 as well, which will save you another 4 quid. But they've got some great deals on. Hereford Model Centre, there's some locomotives that they've got, really great price. I picked up a Hornby Super Detailed Schools Class Locomotive Blundell's in BR Black for about £84, which is a really great price for a locomotive like that. And there's a lot of J15s around as well at about the £65 mark. So there are bargains out there. Check out some of the less well-known model shops and you might be surprised what you find.
I'd also like to point out that you've got plenty of time, so don't feel like you have to get everything. You're only 20, you've got years and years ahead of you.
Yeah, when I was 20, I couldn't afford a lot. So it will come with time, and it's just like, just buy what you really want. Don't be swayed by the shiny. Sometimes when money is tight, it pays to be very focused on what you want to model.
Yes, absolutely. Hi to Sir Patrick Furlong, how are you doing?
Blagowery Forest Railway Andrew Johnson, hi to you, says the amazing thing is that politicians are supposed to run a country.
No,
I don't think that they could run a party in a brewery.
Speaking as a former civil servant, I can tell you right now, the politicians do not run the country, the civil service does. The politicians are there to distract you from who is actually running the country.
Yeah, Kev McA85 says, Jenny, have you thought about the Merchant Navy East Asiatic Company locomotive? Yeah, we talked about this at the beginning of the stream because I know Rails of Sheffield, I've actually stocked a load of these, and there was some, I need to find out from them what the status is with regard to Rails of Sheffield and that. But yeah, it's a great looking model. Certainly it's one which I'm really interested in getting. I really want the rebuilt version. But yeah, it is a glaring omission from my collection. It's probably something I'm going to have to put all the super chat money and stuff towards. In fact,
Donald Thompson has a very good point there. Oxford Rail wagons are a very competitively priced wagon, so you can build up your rolling stock reasonably cheaply.
Very much, absolutely. So there are some great stuff out there. Right, also like to take this opportunity to just mention again, don't forget to check out Scale Model Scenery. We've got a link in the description box that takes you straight to their website. It really does help the channel if you use that link to go there and find anything that you want to pick up. Really great for some affordable project builds and also for embellishments for existing models to make them even better. One of the particular products that I really do recommend you take a look at is their range of roofing tiles and slates. Really the bee's knees for improving Metcalf and super quick kits, as well as scratch building your own. Also, don't forget that today we have been having a special promotion with the Jenny Monday Club teaming up with DCC Concepts to bring you a Haskell L-Class locomotive, which is an Aussie-fied EMD locomotive at less than 2/3 of the current RRP. This comes DCC fitted. We've had it running on the layout and it's currently sat over here. So if I move to this camera, we can see it over here with my hand tapping it. And they are available on a first come first served basis, a number of different liveries and identities, so do consider checking them out if you're into either Australian models, or indeed if you wish to model a fictional US railroad short line and would like them as a really cost effective way of having a base livery on which to build your fictional shortline railroad identity. We've got a link to them as well in the description box. Garthian says, I have the Army Ruston, love it. Yeah, they do look great locomotives, and I'm really looking forward to the new slightly bigger versions like the Roundtree and the Reading signalling depot locomotive. Clive Cobalt.
I've got to say this. Gordon Hanning says he has to stop laying track because I have run out of points. Yeah, when you announced there was no point in going on.
Thank you very much as well, Chairman. Climate Chairman 1 sharing Crossways Point Junction channel. David Watts says, Garthian, my clan line is still in the box. It's the new 18-karat gold version. Penna Lane TMD, hi to you. Clive Cobold says, Jenny, I have to go now. See you all next week. Stay safe and well, guys. Good night from Northern Ireland. Well, look, you take care. And we shall catch you hopefully next week.
Jeez.
Jennifer Garrett says, I was amused to receive a free sweep with my new narrow gauge railcar that arrived last week from Halling in Austria.
Jen got 25 minutes behind on the chat.
Yeah, we'll get there. Anyone else received an amusing freebie with a model? We got to use the Elastoplast ones from the guy who picked and packed it.
Yeah, I had to wash and disinfect my hands just in case.
Iron Horse Heathen, great to see you. Says, Jen, how much would you roughly say your entire model railway collection currently costs, including building materials, rolling stock, locos, decoders, etc.?
Oh.
Rule 2, never add it up. You will just gibber in a corner at the amount that you've spent. So never, ever add up what you've spent, because the amount will shock you.
And
honestly.
This is true of any collection.
Oh yeah, Tony Wright says Uncle Albert was a stoker, so he was below deck. Yeah, as he once said, it's like, well, the engines always tended to go in the same direction as the ship. Right, I'm just going to
if they didn't, they would
skip up to date. J. Paul Anderson says no videos tonight. We're having a few technical issues, which means I think if we try and play the videos, will it completely...
I think it'll completely go off.
We're going to have a special session on Sunday as part of the MRYCG 24 hours of live stream.
In the middle of the week, aren't we?
This week?
Yes, you're going to do that...
Thursday.
Yes, so we'll run some videos after that.
We'll run some videos on Thursday after the Rapido announcements as well. So we will sort that out. Tonight, you may have noticed the jerkiness and making it look like I'm coming to you via a video phone from Kabul. This is because we're using the onboard graphics card basically on this computer, and unfortunately it's not really up to the job. The reason we're using that is because I needed the slot that the actual graphics card was in for a SATA RAID controller. Now, what's apparent is I can't do what I wanted to do. So I'm going to put the graphics card back in. I'm going to move the RAID controller to the computer downstairs and plug in the extra hard drives down there. Right. Iron Horse Heathen says never add it up. It's absolutely true.
It's the same for any collecting.
Richard Swiderski says, what time on Sunday? I believe it's midday, 12 o'clock midday, but don't quote me on that. The MRYCG does have a Facebook page for the 24-hour live stream event, and it does say on there who's doing what, and there's like 1 hour slots all
Does it say who's on first?
It probably does. Brian Stone says, Jenny, the answer is more than £1.
Yes.
Tim Davis asks, Zoe, did you get your DHL parcel in the end?
I did, and you know what? I've been using it a fair amount. It was worth the wait, but I shouldn't have had to wait.
Yeah. Quarry Central says, great layout and setup. Bit of a beggar if you have to move, I guess. I'm not planning on moving, partly because I've just got this room the way I like it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You'll know if we're moving because the local news will be, silly woman tries to take roof of house with her.
Mike Reed asks, Jenny, when are you coming back to the What's Neat show with Ken Patterson? You'll have to keep asking him to get me back on. Definitely. He has said that he wants to get me back on at some point. There's no hard and fast date. But if you send Ken a message saying you must get Jennifer Kirk back on, then I'm sure it will be sooner rather than later. And Ken's a great guy. Don't forget to check out the What's Neat This Week Model Railway podcast show and his Model Railroad Hobbyist channel as well. Some great stuff on there. I have been sharing some stuff on the Facebook group page. Head on over to Facebook and join up on the Jenny Monday Club Facebook page. It's the Monday Club with Jenny Kirk, I think it is.
Yes, there's been a few links to that into the chat
definitely.
already. Mike at Putnam Junction says, what time on Thursday? Midday, isn't it?
Well, no, the announcement is just after midday, I believe.
So
we will be there.
11.
We will be there when the announcement goes live from Rapido Trains, and then after we've done the announcements, we will go on and show some of you guys' videos. I know we've got quite a few stacked up. As I said before, we can't play any tonight because we've got some video codec issues. Because we're using the onboard graphics card, really, it's not up to the job.
It's just not
of doing what we are currently doing. Right. Mark Holt says, if you ever went back to lorry driving, do you go straight back in, or do you have to be retested?
You have to be retested every couple of years, don't you?
Yeah, something like that. I still have a truck driving license. I just don't use it. Gets me cheaper car insurance.
It allows you to drive your stereo around the country.
Patrick Webb says, gotta go now, have a meeting in a few minutes. Thanks for the fun stream. No problem. Flymo Chairman 1 has shared the link to the group there. Thank you ever so much for that. So we're just going to start rounding off, I think. You've been... I haven't had any of these.
Oh, I know.
No, that's all your handiwork. But yeah, it's been a great Monday Club. I know we've had a few video glitches. We think we know what that's down to, so I can sort that out, not a problem. What have we got coming up? On Wednesday, we have got the full review of the American Limited Models tank car wagons. They are some great models. I was very, very impressed. First time I've ever got a close look at that particular brand. Do look out for that video on Wednesday, as I said, and they will be being stocked through Railroads of Sheffield, which is Rails of Sheffield's US outline version. You'll be able to find that through their main page.
Jenny, why are they going to be stocked through Railroads of Sheffield?
Because I did a bit of wheeling and dealing.
You went over. You went to them and like, look at these.
Yeah. Ooh, shiny. But also on Friday we've got the M-Wins 3D Huswell car, and then next week we will have that review of the Hellion Class 25s. And don't believe what you read on our own web. Quite frankly, there's a lot of people on our own web saying the truth that actually these are really great models, but there's some people really with an axe to grind even before the models appeared. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, the Hellion Class 25 is a good model. It is very accurate in shape to the real Class 25s. It's a great performer. Yes, there are a couple of points that I picked up on which could be better in my book. One being the cab lights. I would have preferred them to have been independently switchable using some of the functions on the DCC decoders. And the other one is the handrails tend to be bent in a little bit, but you can bend them out. But those are absolutely minor issues, and when you consider that what we've had previously has been the Bachmann Class 25, which was good in its day but is nearly a 25-year-old model, we really have been spoiled with the Hellion Class 25. It'll be really interesting to see what the retooled Bachmann Class 25 will look like. I believe that it will be up to a similar standard to their 24-1 that came out comparatively recently, which we did a full review on, and I was very impressed by that model. There is also the Sutton Locomotive Works one that's coming out as well, and that will be a good model too. But it's a case of you make your decision, you pay your money, and I think you probably won't be disappointed by any of the three offerings that are either on the market or shortly going to be coming to the market. Valleys 56XX says, great stream, ladies, thank you ever so much. Michael Stevens says, is Ken the same photography expert on the net? Yeah, he also does a lot of photography. I know that, for example, the Bachmann US and the Walthers catalogues, he does the photographs for them, so he is an amazing photographer as well. David Scott says, great club as usual, good night all, catch you next week. You take care as well. Larry Rogers, good night to you. Penelane TMD. Vic Freak says, you always hold your HGV license, but you have to have your medical every 5 years in the dreaded CPC. Brackets, absolute waste of time. I couldn't agree more with you on the CPC. What a load of...
It's not an absolute waste of time if you're the person who is getting paid an awful lot of money to do it.
It's basically, it's a drain on people's finances.
Yes.
And it actually makes... There's a reason that there's a shortage of HGV drivers. When you actually add up how much it costs for a new driver to gain their license and be able to get out on the road, you're talking thousands of pounds.
You've basically got to be sponsored at this point by a company.
And, you know, it's not worth it.
No.
Lots of people... Richard Swiderski says, do you think Hornby will say something on Thursday? I don't know. I really couldn't say.
Yeah, they'll probably say something, but what it is, we don't
I
know.
think if they try to preempt the Rapido announcement on Thursday, it would not be a good look for them, in all honesty with you. Phil Metcalf says, I wish I could get an underground set. They're about £500 now. Yeah, not cheap. There's some very expensive models out there. Jay says, good night. Always remember to be cuddly. Woohoo!
Do we have to?
Yeah,
I like to be spiky sometimes.
Hosseini Fernando says, Jenny, make a video with a triple header. Well, we will, when we get the Gronks up and running, we will probably end up with a triple or even quadruple headed Gronktastic train. But look, it's been really great having you all in. It's just got time now to thank Scale Model Scenery, that you can find a link in the description box below. Please use that if you want to go and check out their website and buy any of the products. Do have a browse. There is a great range of products, something on there for everybody's model railway to enhance and give you a little project to build. Also, a big thank you to DCC Concepts, with whom the Jenny Monday Club has teamed up today to bring you that exclusive offer of the Haskell West Rail L-Class locomotives. Very limited numbers. Sub £100 for a DCC fitted mainline locomotive. There is one of them. So do take advantage of that offer. As I said before, it's notionally just for the duration of the Monday Club, but I believe that the link will probably still keep working even if you wait over until tomorrow. I know a few people have said that they would like to buy one, but they've got to wait until tomorrow money-wise. So that's absolutely all right. And I'm sure if you speak to Richard Brighton nicely, who very grateful, he's been answering some of your questions about DCC control systems in the chat, so thank you very much for that, Richard. I really appreciate. But do check that out, and also do go and check out the Acura Scale Monday Club wagon over on Rails of Sheffield, who are exclusively handling order fulfillment. Over 50% of them are now spoken for, so you do need to get your order in quick if you want that really high quality Acura Scale wagon. Remember, it is a unique livery, a unique running number with the JK logo, with the graffiti stencil, as well as the stencil of empty two-way yard. So it's just got time now for me to say thank you ever so much. It's been great having your company. Don't forget to like, share, and consider subscribing if you're not already done so. and check out the videos coming up. Look, you take great care of yourself. As I said before, Thursday we're going to be showing your videos because of the technical glitches that we got now. In fact, as soon as we come off the stream, I am going to put that graphics card back into this computer because I've had enough of jerkiness.
You heard it here first, guys. Jen is finally happy that she's been a jerk enough.
I've got a present for you. Look, I wonder what could be behind.
Absolutely nothing, because that would violate YouTube's terms of service.
No, but it can't see it. See, look, I will. See?
One guy in the chat, I've lost the name, asked, do we know what chip is fitted in that locomotive? And I really wanted to say Dorito.
I don't actually know.
A McCain home fry.
It doesn't actually say in the instructions. All I've got in the box is the blanking plate. It is definitely DCC fitted. I haven't gone probing around to check, but it does appear to be a pretty good decoder. But Richard Bright may be able to tell you more. But certainly, it's a decoder that does what it says on the tin. Can't fault it.
I'm Shaggerton asked one final question before we go.
Okay, one final question.
Since all of the Jenny Kirk wagons are empty, will they all be sent to Weir Yard? Well, yes, but then we're sending them to Rails of Sheffield to distribute them.
Yeah. Anyway, look, you take great care of yourself, guys, and it just left for me, Jenny Kirk, and the Cupboard Monkey to say, take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. Bye for now.
Good night, guys. Bye-bye. The train now leaving the station is the 21:05 service to Grove Street Yard, stopping at Plymouth Terrace, Weir Yard, Bolton Trinity Road, Eindhoven, Grove Street Yard, and then moving back to Weir Yard. That is the 21:05 service to Weir Yard. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. 'Cause every train there ever was gathered there together, because today's the day that Journey does the Monday Club. Good night.